Hi friends, welcome back to my channel, My Way of Learning. In this mineral nutrition, we are going to see few important topics about the importance of the micro and the macronutrients. So here, the mineral elements which is required by the plants are first observed by Woodward in 1699. So the first observation was done in this year 1699. You can see the plants which is in the muddy water will grow very well then compared to a rainwater because of the presence of various nutrients in the muddy water. Okay, so then a mineral element plays a major role in the normal growth and reproduction because it is completely dependent on the mineral presence and absence whether the plant will have a normal growth and reproduction. So it is an essential element which is having a direct influence on the plant. Okay, so this essential element cannot be substituted by the other element. For example, if iron is required, means the iron only can do the role. The calcium cannot do the role instead of the iron. So some of the low quantities of the elements will lead to the deficiency and that result in various diseases. So the functions of minerals they have given here, see, the calcium that is found in middle lamella, nitrogen and sulfur are found in proteins, phosphorus you can see in nucleic acid, and also this minerals influence the osmotic pressure of the plant. So the osmosis, that is the movement of the solvent from the higher concentration to the lower concentration, is also based on this presence of this minerals. So it influences the osmotic pressure of plant in the intake of the solvent, and it is very well absorbed in the soil and also affect the pH of the cell sap. So the elements like iron, Fe is iron, Cu is copper, and Mn is manganese, and Zn is zinc. So this and all act as a catalyst for various reactions in the cell. So the elements like calcium, Ca is calcium, Mg is magnesium, Na is sodium, and K is potassium. This all helps in neutralizing the toxic effects of other elements. So like this, other elements also show some toxic effects in the plants. The deposition of potassium and the calcium ions on the cell membrane changes its permeability. Permeability means allowing some of the substance inside and outside the cell. That is what we call it as the permeability. So if the cell membrane has some deposition of potassium ions and calcium ions, means the permeability of the cell membrane also changes. So this hydroponics, we call it as hydroponics, that is nothing but growth of plants in water and sand culture. So also known as soil-less agriculture. So the test tube forming, tank forming, chemical coating, these all coming under this hydroponics. That is with the less water we are soil and water we are cultivating some of the plants. To know which mineral is essential for growth and development of plant, you need to know the uses and functions of each of the macro and the micronutrients. So increase the yield of ornamentals such as, or these are the ornamental plants, you know, roses, hibiscus, all these and all, and vegetables like carrot, radish, and potato, tomatoes and lettuce. The essential elements are required. See the list of macronutrients and its role, physiological role, and the deficiency, what all we are going to get if we are deficient in that. So before going into it, I give an introduction about this need of this nutritions. The macronutrients in plants are nutrients that provide energy to the plants and also required in large amount to maintain their development and growth. So they require this nutrients in order to survive, grow, reproduce and develop. So these are the most important elements required for the crops, and the examples includes in the macronutrients are nitrogen, potassium, calcium, phosphorus, magnesium, sulfur, oxygen, carbon and hydrogen. So out of this, the most important ones are nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium, which will directly affect the plant growth and actually create various parts of the plants. So nitrogen is an important component of chlorophyll that play a vital role in photosynthesis. So these are the importance of macronutrients in plants. Coming to the micronutrients in plants, micronutrients includes boron, iron, chlorine, manganese, copper, zinc, molybdenum and nickel. So in addition to this macronutrients, micronutrients are the other category of nutrients, and that are also called as trace elements, and which is required in very small quantity, that also helps in the growth and metabolism of the particular plant or organism. So now we'll see the role of macro and micronutrients. So the macro and the micronutrients in plants falls under the essential nutrients that support the plant for all biochemical needs. A plant cannot complete its life cycle without this macro and the micronutrients, and the other animals other elements also cannot replace this specific function for a plant in the place of macro or a micronutrient. So the plant cannot get full nutrition as each essential nutrient is directly involved in plant nutrients. So out of this essential nutrients, about half of the elements are considered as macronutrient, and functions of macronutrients are very necessary. For example, the carbon is required for forming proteins, carbohydrates, nucleotides, nucleic acids and other key compounds required by the plant macromolecules. So these are the importance of the macro and the micronutrients. So all these elements are important for plant, and some are required in large quantity, we call it as the macro, and lesser quantity we call it as the micro. So first we will see about the nitrogen. So nitrogen, it is very important for the plant. So the metabolism, as it is an important substance and part of amino acids, protein and enzyme, it influences the germination and vegetative growth, and it is responsible for the rapid growth of foliage and provides green color to the plants, because it is the main component of the chlorophyll, and it plays an important role in the photosynthesis. So the deficiency of the iron in the plant result in stunted crop growth, chlorosis or yellowing of leaves and weakness, so during the fruiting and flowering, leading to the lower yields. So next one is phosphorus. So it involved in development of roots and maintaining good quality of flowering, fruiting and seed production, storing and transporting energy, and it helps in giving the resistance to the disease. So deficiency of the phosphorus leads to stunted plant growth, weakened root, thin shoots, and dark green, purple, red colored leaves. So if you see any of the plant is with this color instead of the green color, so you can find whether it contain a weakened root or a thin root. Based on that, you can conclude that it is deficient in phosphorus. So excessive amount of phosphorus can cause lower resorption and deficiency of other elements like zinc, iron, copper, manganese and boron. Next one is potassium. So potassium helps in influencing the water uptake, and it improve the resistance to the fungal diseases and the insect pest. Helps in synthesizing protein, sugar and fat, and improving the drought tolerance. So deficiency of potassium leads to growth reduction, burning or yellowing of the leaf margins and dead spots on the older leaves. So these are the symptoms of potassium deficiency. And also it affects the uptake of the other nutrients like magnesium, calcium and nitrogen. The next we are going to see about the role of few micronutrients which is very important in the plants, that is the boron, iron, manganese and zinc. So boron helps in sugar transport, amino acid protection, cell wall formation, crop reproduction, fruiting, flowering and important of crop quality. So boron deficiency will lead to stunted growth of young crops and deformation of leaves, death of growing points, dark brown color lesions on the leaves, and also it shows poor flowering and chlorosis or yellowing of leaves. And the iron, next is the micronutrient iron. So it is very important for chlorophyll production, photosynthesis, so it is important for photosynthesis process also, and it influences the energy transfer, nitrogen reduction and fixation, and also it involved in the lignin formation. But the deficiency in iron in plants will harm the younger leaves as it causes yellowing between the veins. The next new micronutrient is the manganese. It is important to plants for influence the chloroplast production, and thus it is actively participating in photosynthetic process and activating of enzymes and influencing germination plus crop maturity. So this deficiency in manganese may lead to yellowing of veins in the younger leaves. That is what we call it as the chlorosis. The last one is the zinc. How important the zinc is to the plant. It helps in the early growth stages of the plant, like development of roots and further seed and fruit development in later stages, and also it helps in the process of photosynthesis and balancing the plant hormones. Very importantly, it is involved in the activity of auxins. So the deficiency of zinc result in stunted growth and length reduction of the internodes and smaller young leaves and yellowing on the lower leaves. So these are the roles, functions and the importance of the micro and the macronutrients listed here. So take down the points of all of this. So questions may be asked on the basis of the symptoms for a particular deficiency of a macronutrient or a micronutrient. Like that the questions will be asked, or the symptoms will be given, and they will be asking what deficiency lead to the symptoms like this. So this is a very important topic in the nutrient and dietetics topic in the botany. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, share and subscribe my channel. Subscribe my channel and click the bell icon for more videos which is updated. Thank you.